opening of our reunion, he will tell about the rooms, and he knows a lot about the rooms, so come and hear him tonight at the reunion.
He put up teepees here and would invite different tribes to come and learn about this way of prayer. And I really don't even know where the teepees set. Maybe someone here may know about where he set that teepee. But I really would like to know where he may have put that, including the corrals or where he's got horses. But I'm sort of here late and kind of on the job at the same time. But
You're in the front yard, John.
Oh, so I'm in the front yard?
Yeah.
Okay. What I did pick some sage, and we use this, Indian people, Comanches use this in our prayer services. And it's a purification. So I'm going to take, I've been picking this, and I would imagine that a lot of this sage probably came from the way that he used it around here. I will tell you a real short story about a man named, his name was Primo. He was a Pawnee from Alpanca from up north. His name was Old Man Packhorse. That's how I knew him. But he told me a story about getting on a train. He had a vision about a man that was down this way that was going to show him something good. And so he got on this train. He got off in Lawton, and he wanted to know where the Indians were. And they told him, well, they're out west toward this cache. And he said, I'm looking for a man that he dresses in buckskin. They say he's a powerful man. And this is a true story. And so they told him, well, there may be that one we know as Quanah Parker. He's the chief of the Comanches. He said, that's who I want to see. So they said he walked out here to this place. And when he walked out, he came up to this house, and he said that this Quanah Parker, he was standing on the porch. And this man, he was just a young man. He said he walked up there, and he told him, he said, I think you're the one that I'm supposed to see. He said, I'm wanting something for our tribe. And Quanah Parker told him, he said, I've been waiting for you. So it was through that old man Primo, Packhorse, that Quanah gave him that peyote way. And so he taught a lot of tribes how to use that medicine. To this day, it is there's several hundred chapters of the Native American Church, and a lot of that particular group contribute that to the Native American Church to Quanah Parker, because he did share it with a lot of people. And a couple of things that was returned to us was a staff that some tribe from up north brought down this way, and they brought it to Dad because they didn't know who else to bring it to, and they told him that this staff had belonged to Quanah Parker. And it's a prayer staff that some of you don't know what these staffs are used for. They use it when they sing and they pray, and that they wanted to return it, that he had given it to one of their great grandfathers. But he gave it to them so they could learn to worship. And they said they didn't have any family that was doing that, and they felt like that staff needed to come back home. So I am honored to have that staff. Dad lets me keep it. It really is the family's. And so I haven't used it in a prayer service yet, but I will someday. I wish I could have brought that staff with me, and I may show it down there tomorrow. Tonight, because it's tonight. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that story, that there was a lot of people that admired Quanah Parker, and of course we're very honored to be his relative, and we're glad that my dad could be here. Is there any other grandchildren that are here?
Raise your hand if you're...
Is there any grandchildren? Any great-grandchildren?
All the great-grandchildren, raise your hand.
That's kind of where we're at now. So we're all here.
You're the elders
so what
now.
I want to do is I want to sing a Native American church song for you. No telling, it's probably been years since these songs rang in this area. So I want y'all to be very reverent as I sing these songs. I haven't asked Dad what he wanted me to do, but that's what I'm going to do for y'all. We use a water drum, but this is the drum this is Dad's kind of catch-all drum. Or no, it's mine, really. Well, what's mine's his, I guess. So you guys listen to this song. Hey, wane yo wana yo na haya wane ti hey na hey yo na haya wane ti na hey ne na wo na wane ti ya hey ne yo we he ni na hey yo wana yo na haya wane ti hey na hey yo na haya wane ti na hey ne na wo na wane ti na hey na hey yo hayo wako wane yo wana yo na haya wane ti hey na hey yo na haya wane ti na hey ne na wo na wane ti ni ha hey ne yo way. That song is talking about that medicine. So I wanted to sing that song because that's where the medicine was shared throughout Indian country, right from this place. And so it's very sacred song. And Quanah Parker was a giving man. He died poor, but you know, he gave a lot away. If someone needed a beef, well, he's going to give it to them. And he shared freely with this medicine. So that's the kind of people that he was. So I'm going to give this back to Dad here, and I'm going to go ahead and burn this cedar, Daddy, around here. This is his front yard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let me show you where he's at.
That's,
okay.
That's what we want to do.
There right there is the well, and there's that tree. That tree is somewhere.
Okay.
Okay?
That's pretty secure.
So you can kind of go around there.
Okay. Well, Dad, what I'm going to do is, Paul, thank you. This is my brother, Paul. I'm sure y'all have met him by now. He helps out more than I do. I appreciate his hard work. But I'm gonna cedar my dad right here on this place, Paul. We're going to cedar Daddy and Herbert. You know, they have been so good. I know that Daddy comes over here to see his grandpa. That's what his grandpa would do for him. He wants his house to be good. Everything to be good. And Herbert's been such a blessing to the family. He helps us out, takes care of the house. We want Herbert's house to be good. We want it restored completely. That Herbert could live a long time with us. We love you, Herbert.
So we have Cynthia who didn't get to come to our other part of the video, so
okay.
be sure you see her.
Is this Cynthia? Our Cynthia?
Our Cynthia.
Oh my goodness, this is my sister. Yes, we want her health to be good too. She's having some health problems, and I want God to bless you. How do you know this was you? Take care of you. This is a wonderful place. Time that you have come to be with us, sister. I'm glad that these girls brought you out here. You know, if your dad was alive, he would be out here, be very proud of the things you kids have done. Y'all carried on in your tradition. God bless you. Oh, and Peggy over here. Okay. Marlene, you come a long way, sister. That's what these people use. Buckhaw and Quanah, they use these feathers and these cedars. We want you to feel good. Family will be taken care of in a good way, and that you can live a long time. Take care of our sister over here. She's having a hard time.
And Donnie, we have Peggy here.
Where's Peggy?
Right here.
Peggy. Okay, here's Peggy. These are my dad's brother's sister, Quanah Roy Parker. This is his children. And they're like our sisters to them, and we like that they come and be a part of this. And this is a good thing for them to come and be with us. Peggy. Okay, we'll be glad y'all could come. We're the only ones going to be left someday. We're going to have to carry this on, Sid. So, you got any more cedars that you saw? About those times. And he said he sat there for a little bit, and he said, one time, he said, we was in a raid on some settlers, Thaiwas, he said. He said, I hit a little baby and didn't know it. And he said, I always wondered if that baby lived. It always bothered me. So he had a kind heart. He had a big heart, this man. And I hope that we as children and grandchildren, we try to exemplify these attributes that Quanah Parker gave to us. That it's in our blood, and I hope that we as grandchildren, great-grandchildren can do that. And I'm just going to be symbolic to this place that we're burning the cedar. We know that there's a spirit world out there, that I know something's going to feel good about what we have done here today. All my brothers and sisters, all the relatives, you come a long ways to be with us. And as we move this smoke around here with this feather, we want you guys to feel good about what we're doing here. I would hope someday we could return, but I've got a lot of sage in case we don't, because I'm going to use this sage. We use this in our meetings. When we have meetings, we use this sage as a purification, and we tie them together, and we put it with our staff. And we don't have a gourd.
Yeah, we have.
And we pray with that staff. We use this sage and a feather. And we take this gourd and hit that drum. It's a wonderful time of prayer. We think about the churches that we have today. The Native American church, the people go in when the sun goes down, and they stay in there all night, sitting on the ground, and they don't come out till the sun comes up. So if you guys get tired of those pews, you think of how the Native American church prayed. And those men were humble people. They could feel that earth. It's still a wonderful place to be. Paul, I'll use this on you, but you've been helping your mom and dad, you and your wife. We couldn't make it without you. You've kind of taken over, you know. I'm busy with what I do, and you make all the time for me. We want things to be good for you and your home, okay? And your wife, yeah. Oh, is she? Is she okay? And I'm going to sing one final song, and I'll be through unless Daddy wanted his mouse to.
I want Dad to sing Adobe Walls.
Daddy wants to sing Adobe Wall. I'm going to finish with this Native American church song for my part of this, and then Daddy wants to sing the Adobe Walls, and whoever could help with that, if I know that, please help him, because he has a time singing that song. Daddy wants, I guess y'all probably been told about what this song is about, so y'all just listen to it.
Yo, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, no, hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, hey.
Tell us about playing over here, and we'll conclude with that.
I played around my picket fence, and they were too scared to go in. Everybody was scary then. But I played all over the mountains and creeks. And Quanah's oldest son, we lived down there about a mile, and I just played all over the place. And it's really a good place. And I wish Atomic Andy never did show up here. But anyway, it took, made everybody so sad about it, farmers and all. I mean, we were all like a big family. And it's a great place to live.
One time my sister Norma Jean ran him all the way up here too. She was chasing him. She caught him finally.
I got a sister that's 4 years older than I am. And I thought, girls don't run that far, And we lived a mile down the hill here. So I got her mad, and I said, I'll run half a mile, quarter of a mile. Turned around, she's still in back of me. I'll go another quarter of a mile, and I'm almost up here now. I turned around, she's still behind me. And the road that we turned on, before we went back east and into the gate, well, I took that road. Of course, we're running across the pasture. And I turned around, and when I got to the road, she's still behind me. I'm getting tired now. So I go to the corner and going back south, all the way back to the house. I got back to the house, and she beat the heck out of me.
Harold, that's funny.
But we've got some good memories here.
Anybody else want to share a memory?
Cynthia Ann knows.
Cynthia Ann, tell us something.
She was telling us on the way.
I remember we used to run to the mailbox. We never got no mail, but we used to run to the mailbox. Go pick plum. And there was some farmers that lived across the road. And my mother used to tell us, y'all go buy some eggs from them people. 10 cents a dozen.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't know it at the time, but those were the best years of our lives. I'm happy to say that I lived around here at that time. My cousin and my cousin, Mama Jean, those were the best times of our lives because we didn't realize it at the time. Now all of them are gone. Maybe someday we'll see them again.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's good to be here today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is good to be here, and it's good to have you all with us here today. It's good to have Mr. Spivey to help us get here. Good things have happened to us, Mr. Spivey, this whole weekend with the reunion. Ronnie has been able to work with other people to get some other historians to come in and tell us some things about our own history that they know better than we know. And we're going to continue that tonight at our reunion at the Star House. And Herbert allows us to come in there and have this reunion. And we're just thankful for all of that. And we just thank you all for coming. And thank Ronnie for getting this all together for us.
Thank you, Ronnie.
And we're just glad you came. So let's all try to get back over there without getting to those stinging weeds like my grandson did.
Look around. They can look around.
Look around before
Watch
you
your
go.
step.
Well, if you look right along these cedars here, you'll see the old sidewalk. It's still very visible right here. And over here,
Connie says that's part of the old sidewalk there.
oh, I looked at all the standard, but that's post office. Yep, go right ahead. Thank you very much. Tricky fair,
Last time I was here,
Sidewalk.
they were out in front and they went this way.
Okay, and what's the round or something there?
That's their sidewalk.
David Bourne, way back.
And then over here is the well.
The one that Fort Worth has a solid dot
Okay, all right.
Well, where's the mark he said? Oh yeah,
That's the brand mark, but there's some letters right here.
there's Quanah's brand. Right in the center, a big circle within a little circle.
Right here in the middle of it.
Yeah.
There's the outside of the big
Uh-huh. Wow. That's his brand. He said earlier that it was on his horses and
Should I get you to show the circle again? Outer circle.
inner circle.
And there's the well. Wow. There's the well. Whoa.
West of here, where I can find those little cuckoos carved in the rock.
See the well? Golly, isn't that cool? Quanah's picking sandflies. And then there's the view Vincent was telling me about. He was right. It is beautiful. It reminds me of home in Norman. Looks just like it. There's the creek over there. Beautiful sight. I walked right through a rattlesnake nest, apparently. That's what I was told. Oops.
I need to ride back with you. Right back with you. I got to pay for a chair. Let's go. I'm ready.
Hey, can I get in the back?
In the curving around the well, you'll recognize this circle within a circle that was there. This same brand is reflected also in photographs in our archival collections of the, you can see it on the rump of Quanah's horse as he's riding it in various activities around the area. It's unmistakable. And the branding iron that was reportedly Quanah's out of Fort Worth is very different than this. It's a large circle with a solid dot in the center. So, but this is the original branding iron. And I thought you might like to see it. If you'd like to come up and look, it's not to be auctioned tonight, incidentally. But
we thought you might give it to us.
if you'd like to come up and look at it afterwards, you're more than welcome to. But I just wanted to bring it to you, show you.
Can I take it around?
Surely.
Can she hold it? You want
The gloves will be fine. I just didn't have time to get any. I'm sorry. I thought I might also update you on something that's going on now, and you'll be hearing more about a little bit later. You're probably all familiar with the movie and the book Dances with Wolves. I don't know how many of you may have read the book, but the movie, of course, was made in South Dakota, and it involved the Sioux and Cheyenne tribes in that area. The book actually was written about this area, and mostly about Comanches, and Kiowas and a few other tribes, but heavy on Comanches in this immediate area. I know the author of Dances with Wolves very well, and after the movie came out, I was chiding him somewhat. I told him, why did you do this? Why did you let this book be transformed into a northern plains situation when into the movie when it was really a southern plains? I mean, some of the individuals like Tin Bears and Horseback, there was also some Kiowas like Kicking Bird and others that were mentioned in there. And I chided him, and he thought for a minute. He said, well, Kevin Costner had a problem with it being in this area. And I said, well, why? He said there weren't enough Indians here. And I said, you got to be kidding. And he said, well, there weren't enough buffalo here. And I said, well, there's like 600 head out here on the wildlife refuge. He said, well, there weren't enough horses here. And I said, Oklahoma ranks about third in the nation for horses. And he said, well, there weren't enough Indians who rode horses here. And what it finally boiled down to is Kevin Costner's coal producer, had a ranch in South Dakota and access to a buffalo herd there. And so they simply just transplanted the story to the northern plains. Well,
They camped right here on this creek, on this very spot where we're sitting today. Quanah was supposed to go to Fort Sill to meet with the general and make the treaty for the Indians to exist here in peace and honor. Quanah would not go to Fort Sill because he knew what happened to Satanta and Satank. They were both put in chains and hauled off to Jacksboro. So he met with them on the banks of the creek east of here, Blue Beaver Creek, and that's where they formed the Comanche Nation. They were given the right to be an independent, self-governing nation, all of their own, to keep their sidearms, their horses, and to rule their own government. This is one of the few Indian tribes that was ever in history given those accommodations. Quanah then came back here, and he and several other of the leaders were given these little two-room breezeway houses. Quanah, they were often called dog trot houses. Quanah had visited with Fort Sill then several times, recognized the house that the general lived in, wondered why the general with no family would have a house that big when he had a big house, big family, and lived in a two-room dog-room house. And so he made the question loud enough that the government then allowed him the privilege of using the influence with Burnett and Wagner, the cattlemen that were using this land as a grazing area. Quanah then was going to have a house built just like the general had at Fort Sill. And the lumber, the contractor that built the house, came from the little town of Navajo. There used to be a trail through here, and the ruts are still available, still visible, up on the hill and over toward Fort Sill and out toward Indiahoma. The railroad came in, followed that trail, but Quanah followed it when he came in from the west. And going east, it was called the Navajo Trail. Going west, and going east, or Spanish Trail, and going east, they called it the Choctaw Trail sometimes. But anyway, these builders came in on that Navajo Trail and built this house. The lumber and the material was shipped by rail from East Texas up to the end of the railroad, which was south of here. The lumber then was brought by wagon train, and when they crossed Red River, they had to triple the teams. They could bring a wagon up to the bank of the river with 2 horses or 2 mules, but they had to take 6 of them to drag it across the Sandy River. But they got the lumber here. The house was built in the middle 1880s. As originally built, the house was a copy of the general's house. It had a shed porch on the front, no porches on the side.